There are people who don't destroy your life in obvious ways. They don't lie to you. They don't betray you openly. They don't stab you in the back. They do something far more dangerous. They slowly infiltrate your mind. They drain the power you didn't even know you were losing. They walk into your life quietly and leave with pieces of you you'll never get back. Machiavelli warned us about 7 kinds of people who can ruin your future, not by attacking you, but by being close to you. People who manipulate your kindness, people who suffocate your growth, people who drain your time, your focus, your identity. And the truth is, you've already met them. Some are beside you right now. Some are in your family, some are your friends, some pretend to love you. This episode of Truth is not entertainment. It is not philosophy. It is a survival manual for your life, your energy, and your destiny. If you want to build a stronger mind, if you want to protect your future, if you want to finally understand why your progress keeps breaking, then don't move. Because once you learn who these 7 people are, you will never look at human beings the same way again. There is a kind of person who enters your life quietly, softly, almost harmlessly. At first, they seem grateful for your support, comforted by your presence, and thankful for every effort you make to lift them up. But slowly, almost invisibly, they begin to drain you. Not your money, not your possessions, but your strength, your emotional energy, your focus, the very power you rely on to build your life. These people don't destroy you violently. They destroy you subtly. They come to you broken, empty, overwhelmed, and you, because you are kind, try to fix them. You offer advice. You offer time. You offer pieces of your heart. And they take it all. They take and take and take, until giving becomes your identity. And then something strange happens. The more you help them, the more they resent you. They don't hate you because you hurt them. They hate you because your strength reminds them of their weakness. Every time you lift them up, they feel smaller. Every time you guide them, they feel exposed. Every time you succeed, they feel attacked. Machiavelli warned about this kind of person centuries ago. He said that those who feel inferior will always turn against the one who empowers them, not because they are evil, but because gratitude is impossible when a person sees help as humiliation. And so, the moment you stop carrying them, their true feelings emerge. Bitterness, anger, coldness, distance. Suddenly you are selfish, changed, or not supportive, even though you gave more than anyone else ever has. This person drains you not because they need help, but because they refuse to help themselves. They want comfort, not progress. They want rescue, not responsibility. They want your strength, not their own. And if you're not careful, you become their emotional engine. You start solving their problems instead of solving your own. Your dreams slow down, your goals fade, your energy collapses. Not because your life is hard, but because you are carrying someone who refuses to walk. These people fear the moment you realize your own value. They fear the day you stop being available. They fear your independence, your confidence, your forward movement. Because if you rise, you will no longer fit inside the small emotional space they've built for you. And that's when the sabotage begins. A quiet comment that makes you doubt yourself, a sarcastic joke about your goals, a subtle criticism disguised as concern, a cold reaction to your success. Piece by piece, they pull at your confidence until you question everything, not because you are weak, but because you are exhausted. Helping the wrong person is not kindness. It is self-destruction in slow motion. Your strength is sacred. Your energy is limited. Not everyone deserves access to it. Walk away from the ones who drain you silently. Walk toward the ones who rise with you. There is a type of person who does not fear your mistakes. They fear your evolution. They don't mind who you are right now. They fear who you might become, because as long as you stay the same, they know how to handle you. They know how to talk to you, how to influence you, how to fit you inside the version of yourself that keeps them comfortable. But the moment you begin to grow, something in them shifts. Your new ideas unsettle them. Your confidence threatens them. Your ambition exposes their stagnation. They look at your growth and see their own lack of progress. They watch you rise and feel themselves shrinking. And instead of supporting your evolution, they quietly resist it. They don't say it directly. They say things like, "Why are you changing so much? Don't forget where you came from. You're acting different." They frame your growth as a betrayal, as if becoming a better version of yourself is an offense against them. They make you feel guilty for dreaming bigger, as if your goals are a personal attack on their comfort. Machiavelli warned about these people centuries ago. He said that those who fear your independence will try to keep you emotionally small. Not because they want to protect you, but because your evolution forces them to face a terrifying truth, that they have stayed the same. These people don't want you to lose, but they also don't want you to win too much. They clap just enough to look supportive, but their eyes give away the truth. They're afraid of the distance your success will create between you and them, and so they pull you back subtly. A discouraging joke, a small criticism, a doubt slipped into a conversation, a tone that makes you question your choices. They don't stop your growth by force. They slow it down with doubt. Soft chains, invisible boundaries. Before you know it, you begin shrinking yourself to keep them comfortable. You hide your wins. You minimize your plans. You silence your potential. You start apologizing for evolving, as if growth is a crime. But here is the truth. If someone makes you feel guilty for growing, you are not the problem. They are. Your evolution is not a betrayal. Your ambition is not disrespect. Your desire to rise is not something to feel ashamed of. You are not responsible for someone else's insecurity. You are not obligated to stay small to protect another person's ego. You are not required to limit your sky just because someone else is afraid to fly. Anyone who fears your growth was never meant to grow with you. Protect your evolution. It is the doorway to the life you were meant to live. There are people who will never touch your money, never break your heart, never raise their voice against you. Yet they will steal the most valuable thing you have, your time. Not all thieves break into your home. Some break into your schedule. They enter your life with endless stories, endless drama, endless chaos, a never-ending stream of problems that somehow always become your responsibility. They don't come to grow, they come to unload. They don't want solutions, they want attention. They don't want to change, they want to be comforted. And they choose you because you listen, because you care, because you have something they don't, the ability to carry weight. Machiavelli warned that the most dangerous enemy is not the one who attacks you, but the one who consumes your days quietly. Time is the currency of life. Once spent, it never returns. And people who steal your time are stealing years from your future. These individuals always arrive at the wrong moment. When you're working, when you're resting, when you're trying to focus. They interrupt your goals with their emergencies, their fears, their insecurities. Their chaos becomes the center of your attention, and your priorities slowly fade into the background. At first, you think you're helping, but gradually you realize that you're not solving their problems. You're only delaying your own progress. And worse, their dependence grows. Every time you help, you teach them that you will always be available. Every time you drop everything for them, you show them that your life can wait. But your life shouldn't wait. These people are not bad. Some are kind, some are close to your heart, some genuinely love you, and that's what makes them dangerous. You don't notice the damage because it doesn't come from hatred, but from neediness. And neediness is endless. You start losing focus, your goals slow down, your passion fades. You begin to feel tired for no reason, an exhaustion that comes from carrying weight that isn't yours. And they never realize it. Because for them, your time is an endless resource. But here is the truth. You are not responsible for being someone's emotional landfill. You are not a 24-hour support line. You are not a therapist for people who don't want to grow. Your time is limited, your energy is finite, your purpose is too important. Protect your hours. Protect your schedule. Protect your mental space. Because the people who waste your time are stealing the future you could have built with it. There is a person who only appears in your life when they are breaking, but disappears the moment you break. They come to you wounded, desperate, exhausted, crying for your support, your presence, your energy, your comfort. And because you have a compassionate heart, you give it to them, every time. But when you need help, when you are tired, when you are overwhelmed, when you feel lost, they are nowhere to be found. Their loyalty is seasonal. Their love is conditional. Their presence is transactional. They want your strength, but they never offer theirs. They want your shoulder, but refuse to lend you theirs. They want comfort, but never sacrifice. Their version of connection is one-directional. You give, they take. Machiavelli warned that people like this are not true allies. He said that a person who only stands beside you in their weakness will never stand beside you in your strength. Why? Because your struggle makes them feel useful, but your power makes them feel small. They need you to be their anchor, their healer, their emotional safety net, but they vanish when the roles reverse. These people drain you not through conflict but through absence, not through anger but through silence, not through betrayal but through invisibility. You carry them through every storm they face, but when your storm arrives, they become ghosts. And the worst part, they always return, not to check on you, not to rebuild what they destroyed, but because their next crisis has arrived. And once again, they expect you to catch them. They expect you to be strong, even when you're breaking inside. Before you realize it, your life becomes a cycle of interruptions. Their drama becomes your schedule. Their breakdowns become your responsibility. Their emotional hunger becomes your daily task. You start to believe that this is what love looks like, that this is what friendship looks like, that this is what loyalty looks like, but it's not. This is emotional parasitism, a soft, gentle form of exploitation that hides behind affection. And the danger is subtle. You begin to feel guilty for wanting your own space, guilty for needing rest, guilty for not answering immediately, guilty for choosing yourself. But hear this clearly. Someone who disappears when you need them was never with you in the first place. Someone who only shows up in crisis is not a friend. They're a pattern. Someone who expects your strength while ignoring your pain does not deserve access to your heart, your time, or your energy. You are not a lifeboat for drowning people who refuse to swim. You are a human being with limits, needs, and a life of your own. Protect your emotional space. Not everyone who runs to you in the dark will stand beside you in the light. There is a person in your life who smiles when you walk into the room, but their heart tightens every time you rise. Their words sound supportive, but their energy feels heavy. They compliment you publicly, yet privately they flinch at your success. These people are threatened by your growth not because you harmed them, but because your elevation forces them to confront the truth about themselves. They stayed where they were, while you kept moving. They don't want you to fail. But they don't want you to win too much either. Your small victories make them comfortable. Your big victories make them anxious. They cheer for you in moderation, but the moment you pass a certain level, their smile fades. They become cold, distant, subtly critical. Machiavelli called these people the friends who fear your greatness. They don't fight you openly. They don't sabotage you directly. Instead, they use softer weapons: doubt, comparison, minimization, silence at the exact moments you need support. You share good news. They say cool, with no emotion. You share your dreams. They question the logic. You talk about your progress. They tell you not to get ahead of yourself. They never tell you I'm proud of you because those words taste bitter in their mouth. These people aren't jealous of what you have. They're jealous of who you're becoming. Your confidence reminds them of their fears. Your drive highlights their laziness. Your ambition exposes their excuses. Your courage shatters the comfort of their stagnation. And so, instead of rising with you, they try to keep you at a height that doesn't threaten their ego, a height that feels safe, a height where they don't feel inferior. They'll say things like, be realistic, don't dream too big, you're changing too fast. But what they really mean is, don't rise above me. The tragedy: these people are often close, a friend, a sibling, a co-worker, someone you trust. And because they are close, their subtle discouragement hits harder than any direct hatred could. If you're not careful, you begin shrinking around them. You downplay your achievements so they don't feel uncomfortable. You hide your goals so they don't judge you. You apologize for dreaming loudly. You limit your potential to protect their feelings. But here is the truth. Your growth is not an insult. Your success is not an attack. Your ambition is not a threat. Their insecurity is not your responsibility. You were not born to dim your light, to make others feel safe in their shadows. Not everyone can celebrate your rise. And that's okay. You are not meant to carry their self-doubt. You are meant to rise anyway. Protect your path from those who fear your future. They were never meant to walk it with you. There are two kinds of people who can quietly sabotage your future without ever lifting a finger against you. They don't fight you. They don't insult you. They don't betray you in obvious ways. Instead, they do something far more subtle. One fears your success, and the other quietly kills your motivation. Together, they form a perfect trap for your potential. The first type is the one who fears what you might become. They see your ambition, your drive, your hunger for more, and instead of admiring it, they panic. Not because they want you to fail, but because your rising forces them to confront their own lack of effort. They lived comfortably in the version of you they knew, predictable, manageable, relatable. But when you start to grow, that version disappears, and they fear losing the emotional control they once had. They start throwing small doubts at you. Are you sure you can handle this? Isn't that too risky? What if it doesn't work out? These questions aren't concern, they're fear disguised as advice. The second type is more dangerous because they don't fear your future. They fear your passion. They don't attack your goals. They suffocate your excitement. Every time you feel inspired, they pour cold water on your fire. You tell them your dreams. They shrug. You share your plans. They highlight the obstacles. You talk about leveling up. They tell you to calm down. They don't want to ruin your life. They simply don't understand the power of momentum. They mistake your passion for naivete, your ambition for arrogance, your excitement for exaggeration. And without realizing it, they dim the spark inside you. These two personalities work in different ways, but the damage somehow becomes the same. The first keeps you afraid of rising. The second keeps you afraid of trying. One holds your future hostage with fear. The other drains the fuel from your present. One makes you feel guilty for dreaming big. The other makes you feel foolish for dreaming at all. Machiavelli warned that the greatest danger is not always the enemy who hates you, but the person who cannot handle your evolution. And that is exactly what these two types represent. Barriers that look like people. They're not villains, but they're not allies either. They are people emotionally unequipped to walk beside someone who is growing. If you keep them close, you will eventually shrink yourself without realizing it. You'll lower your goals to fit their comfort zone. You'll reduce your ambition to avoid conflict. You'll hide your progress to protect their pride. And slowly, you'll become a version of yourself that is easier for them to handle but unrecognizable to the person you were meant to be. You cannot build a powerful life around people who fear power. You cannot become limitless around those who fear limits. You cannot expand your world while surrounding yourself with people who have chosen to live small. Protect your vision. Protect your spark. Protect your momentum. Because the people who fear your greatness and the people who drain your motivation will keep you exactly where you are, unless you decide to walk forward without them. In the end, the most dangerous people in your life are not always the loud ones, the obvious ones, or the ones who openly betray you. Sometimes the true danger comes from the quiet ones, the ones you let stand closest to your mind, your heart, and your future. The ones who drain your energy without apology, the ones who fear your growth without admitting it, the ones who show up only when they need you, but vanish when your world starts to fall apart. The ones who clap just softly enough to hide that they never wanted you to stand taller than them. And the truth, the uncomfortable, undeniable truth, is this. Your life does not break because of enemies. Your life breaks because you gave the wrong people access to parts of you they were never meant to touch. Machiavelli was right. The downfall of a strong person rarely comes from weakness within themselves. It comes from the people they choose to lift, protect, help, and hold on to. People who do not rise with you will eventually pull you down. People who do not celebrate your strength will eventually resent it. People who do not walk beside you will eventually become weight on your back. At some point in your life you must choose, Carry everyone or carry yourself, because you cannot do both. You cannot build a powerful identity while feeding the insecurities of others. You cannot chase your future while dragging those who refuse to move. You cannot unlock your potential while apologizing for your ambition. You cannot grow into the person you are destined to be while shrinking yourself for people who fear your evolution. Your time is sacred. Your energy is limited. Your vision is fragile. Your momentum is priceless. And the people around you either amplify it or destroy it. The moment you realize this, your life changes. You stop explaining your growth. You stop apologizing for your progress. You stop seeking approval from those threatened by your identity. You stop shrinking to make others feel comfortable. You stop carrying people who refuse to carry themselves. And slowly, something powerful happens. Your mind becomes clearer. Your focus becomes sharper. Your life becomes lighter. Your path becomes brighter. Your confidence returns. And you finally rise. Not because the world changed, but because you changed who you allowed into your world. Remember this. You are not obligated to save everyone. You are not responsible for healing those who refuse to heal. You do not owe your future to the people who fear it. Some people cannot follow you where you're going. Some people were only chapters, not destinies. Some people were lessons, not lifetimes. Walk away from the ones who drain you. Walk toward the ones who grow with you. And never forget. Your life becomes unstoppable the moment you protect your energy. With the same intensity, you protect your dreams.